Walter Garber works as a controller at New York City Subway Control Center. He is skilled and dependable, known for fixing train problems quickly and keeping operations running smoothly. At one of the stations, a man named Ryder appears. He points a gun at the train operator, Jerry Pollard, and forces him to open the cabin door. Moments later, another man wearing a hat, Phil Ramos, enters the train. In another car, a third man, Bashkin, threatens the conductor, Regina, and orders her to move to a different section of the train. Meanwhile, a passenger named George is on a video call with his girlfriend, but the call suddenly drops when the signal cuts out. Ramos then stops the train and demands tools from Jerry to disconnect several train cars. Once he gets them, he joins Bashkin and cuts off most of the cars, leaving a smaller section of the train under their control. Back at the control center, Garber notices that the Pelham 123 train has stopped even though the signal shows green. He tries to contact the operator, but Ryder orders Jerry to stay silent and follow instructions. Soon, Garber sees on the monitor that part of the train has separated. The rear cars begin to roll backward with passengers still inside. Concerned, Garber keeps trying to reach Jerry, but there's still no response. The city's nightmare had just begun. This is the taking of Pelham 123. Meanwhile, a police officer nearby senses something is wrong and moves in to investigate. Moments later, gunfire echoes through the tunnel, confirming the worst.
Gunshots down the tunnel.
Sergeant Moran.
Ryder emerges from the operator's cabin, revealing himself as the leader of the hijackers. He contacts Bashkin to check the situation and orders Regina to move the passengers safely onto the platform. Police units rush to the scene to protect the passengers and secure the area. Then Ryder calls the control center directly. Garber immediately notices the voice isn't Jerry's. Ryder introduces himself as the man in charge, explaining that he has taken hostages and is demanding ransom. He instructs Garber to contact the mayor and arrange for $10 million in cash within 1 hour. For every minute the money is delayed, one hostage will be killed. Elsewhere, the mayor is traveling on the subway when police officers urgently inform him that a train has been hijacked. The city's response begins. Back at the control center, Garber's boss treats him poorly. He makes rude remarks and warns Garber not to make any mistakes. Despite the tension, Garber stays calm and continues focusing on the hijacked train. When Garber speaks with Ryder, he informs him that the mayor knows about the situation. Their conversation turns more casual, and Garber listens carefully to every detail Ryder shares. Ryder mentions that he likes Garber and even calls him his last friend, but he quickly reminds him that only 50 minutes remain to deliver the money. A short time later, the train stops again while Ramos and Bashkin try to fix the internet connection. At that moment, a police negotiation team arrives at the control center, led by Vincent Caminetti. Garber hands his notes to Vincent, who insists on taking over the communication. Garber's boss tells him to leave and go home. Soon after, Vincent contacts the hijackers, but Ryder immediately asks where Garber is. When Vincent explains that the police are now handling the situation, Ryder becomes angry and demands to speak only with Garber. He warns that if Garber does not return, he will kill the train operator, Jerry. Vincent tries to keep control and persuade Ryder to cooperate. Ryder refuses to listen and shoots Jerry to prove his point. He gives Vincent 1 minute to bring Garber back or another hostage will die. Realizing the danger, Vincent orders the team to reconnect Garber. Ryder explains that he prefers speaking to Garber because he feels a strange connection with him. When Garber returns to the microphone, Ryder warns him not to leave again. Everyone in the room, including Vincent and Garber's boss, is shocked that Ryder trusts Garber more than anyone else. Meanwhile, the police update the mayor on the situation. After a brief discussion, the mayor decides to pay the $10 million ransom. Vincent starts looking into Garber's background. Garber's boss reveals that he is under investigation for accepting bribes during a train purchase from Japan. Later, Vincent questions Garber privately, asking if he knows Ryder or has any link to the hijacking. Garber denies everything and agrees to let the police search his home. Back on the train, Ramos starts doubting the plan. He wonders why a man like Garber, who only manages schedules, is still working at that level instead of being promoted. His curiosity grows as Ryder searches Garber's name online. Soon, Ryder finds an article about Garber's bribery case, confirming what the police already know. Soon after, Garber contacts Ryder to confirm that the mayor has agreed to pay the ransom and that the money is being prepared. Ryder reminds him that only 28 minutes remain. He then shifts the topic and questions Garber about the train purchase deal, pressing him about the corruption case. Garber denies taking any bribes, but Ryder keeps pushing for the truth. Despite the pressure, Garber stands by his claim that he did nothing wrong. Frustrated, Ryder aims his gun at a young hostage named George and forces Garber to confess.
No, I do not.
Okay, well, first is my gun. George. His friends call him Jimmy. He's got this kind of 80s skate. Look, there's no fucking deadline, man. You just got to tell me the truth.
Cornered, Garber finally admits that he accepted $35,000 to help pay for his children's college tuition. Meanwhile, the ransom money is loaded into an armored truck escorted by police. Elsewhere, George's laptop reconnects to his girlfriend. She asks what is happening, and George explains that he is being held hostage. He tells her to stream the video live and alert reporters, turning the hijacking into a public crisis. Back at the control center, someone switches on the news. The staff recognize one of the hijackers, Phil Ramos. They learn he is a former train operator who once caused an accident that killed 10 passengers, leading to his imprisonment. Shortly after, the mayor arrives at the control room to monitor the situation. When Ryder finds out, he demands to speak with the mayor through Garber and offers to release the hostages in exchange for him. The police and Vincent reject the demand, which enrages Ryder. He begins shouting, raising tension inside the train. Acting fast, Garber takes over the microphone and manages to calm him down before things spiral further. Meanwhile, the armored truck carrying the ransom speeds through the city. Police block intersections to clear the route, but the vehicle gets stuck in traffic. Vincent orders the team to transfer the cash to motorcycles to save time. The delay, however, infuriates Ryder. In anger, he shoots one of the hostages. The incident is captured and broadcast live by George's girlfriend. At the same time, a police sniper stationed near the train is startled when a rat runs across his foot. His weapon fires by accident, adding to the confusion. As the chaos unfolds, the ransom finally reaches the scene. Ryder calls Garber again, demanding answers. The tension between them escalates. Ryder insists that another hostage must die, while Garber argues that no one else should be harmed now that the money has arrived. After a pause, Ryder changes his demand. He orders Garber to deliver the ransom personally. Before leaving, Garber calls his wife. He tells her what Ryder has asked and promises to come home safely. She pleads with him to be careful and softly asks him to bring home some milk, a small gesture to remind him of his promise to return. Shortly after, Garber arrives at the handover site with the ransom. The police secretly equip him with a pistol hidden inside one of the marked money bags. After he delivers the cash, Ryder's men search him and inspect the money before ordering him to board the train and take control of it. The train moves a short distance before Ryder commands Garber to stop. Garber steps off the train along with the 3 hijackers, leaving the remaining cars to continue speeding down the tracks without a driver, still carrying passengers. At the control center, Garber's boss monitors the situation and mistakenly believes that Garber and the hijackers are still on the train. Meanwhile, Ryder directs Garber to lead them toward the Roosevelt Tunnel. As they walk, a passing train creates a strong gust that blows one of the bags away. The fallen bag happens to be the one containing the hidden pistol. Acting quickly, Garber retrieves it without drawing attention. As they approach the tunnel, another train roars past. Garber uses the noise and distraction to make a run for it, disappearing behind the moving cars. At the same time, the runaway train continues to accelerate. The control center team activates the emergency brakes remotely, bringing the train to a sudden stop and saving everyone on board. When the police inspect the train, they find no trace of Garber or the hijackers. Back at the control room, Vincent questions where Ryder had first halted the train. Garber's boss explains that it was near the old Roosevelt Tunnel, an unused passage sealed off years earlier when a hotel was built above it. Meanwhile, Garber trails Ryder and his men toward the tunnel. Ryder and his group use an elevator that connects to the hotel, while Garber climbs the emergency stairway. Moments later, Ryder and his crew emerge inside the hotel, posing as guests checking out. Ryder splits up from his partners, but police units quickly close in. The 2 accomplices are surrounded and killed in a shootout. When Garber emerges from the tunnel, he spots Ryder getting into a taxi. He runs after it but can't catch up, so he quickly grabs a nearby car and continues the chase. While driving, he alerts the police that Ryder is heading toward the Manhattan Bridge, prompting them to move in for an interception. As Garber approaches the bridge, the traffic becomes too heavy to continue driving. He abandons the car and continues on foot, weaving through vehicles and pedestrians until he reaches the taxi Ryder had used. The driver tells him that Ryder already left and is now walking toward Brooklyn. Garber scanned the crowd and finally spotted Ryder ahead. Moving carefully, He raised his gun and closed the distance. Ryder remained calm, challenging Garber to shoot. He began counting from 1 to 10, warning that if Garber didn't act, he would fire instead. Garber called for the police, but they were still too far away to help. As Ryder finished counting, he reached for his gun. Garber, already ready to defend himself, fired first. Ryder collapsed to the ground, ending the standoff and the chaos that had gripped the city. Moments later, Vincent and the mayor arrived to secure the scene and ensure everything was under control. They thanked Garber for his courage and quick action. With the crisis resolved, Garber was finally cleared to go home. Tired but relieved, he carried a small bag of milk, keeping the promise he made to his wife. That simple carton reminded him of what mattered most and marked the quiet end of a long, harrowing day. The story ends. So the moral of the story is don't mess with New York traffic or subway controllers, because the guy who fixes trains might just fix you instead.